A real treat.
If we can dream it, then we can do it. Yes, we can, yes, we can.
Hang on to them hats and glasses, 'cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
It's the DIZPod, where dreams come true. With Corey and Lawrence, we'll explore with you. Feel the magic.
Gets his stuff and gets ready to leave.
The
And I was
joy
like,
and the cheer.
"You're leaving?"
Together we'll make memories.
And he
year
said that's
after
when he
year.
was like, okay.
Yeah. So
Got me.
But, so why'd you pull over then?
I was probably more scared than anything. Pull over.
that's why they chose the music they chose, and that's why that they laid this life out, you know, from birth to death in this show. It's actually much more to it than I think a lot of people realize until we really start to see it more.
I'm going to skip out because I do have to do my football show where I will be picking the Patriots to lose this week. By the way, go Raven, out!
I'll talk to him later. Pete is great. Love Pete.
In the house, sometimes we would have 30.
You had the house to hang out at. Then.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Stevens.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
I just said, let's go live on YouTube. People might like to see that. Believe it or not, that first night we got 1,000 people watching. I don't.
You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Hello and welcome to yet another DIZPod on this February 24th already, 2026. Record snowfalls, Lawrence. Listen, ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, it's always been the talk of the legendary blizzard of 76. Tammy and I have both talked about these past few days, because it's very relevant, because where we're from in Massachusetts, 38 inches, I think it was, in our hometown. So that is a record. So now they'll be talking about the blizzard of 26.
Yeah.
And not the blizzard of 76. Do you recall any of that? Did the blizzard of 76 affect you where you lived? You didn't live that far from me.
Sir, I wouldn't have been born then.
You missed it.
I will be
Fine.
50 this October, so I would have missed that. However,
I didn't calculate that.
In
But listen, I only made it by 4 years. I was 4.
Right.
And
right.
Tammy and I remember, like, we had to be dug out. Like, we couldn't walk outside. It was over our heads. It was up halfway to the doors and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So in 2003, I was getting ready to move to Maryland, Baltimore, and we went for a weekend to look at apartments and stuff like that. And the snow was supposed to start Sunday afternoon. And I was like, well, do we leave and go back home to New York, or do we stick it out? And I was like, well, we've got time off from work. Let's just stick it out. So it's supposed to start Sunday about 2 o'clock. By the time I got up to go to the grocery store at 11, there was already about 8 inches of snow on the ground. Ended up snowing 48 inches in 2 days. Yeah. So, and then when we did go home to New York, it had snowed there too. Another 18 inches of snow or so. So then when I got home, I lived in a basement apartment. And of course the shovel is inside the house. So I had to slide down the stairs to go into the house to get the shovel and then shovel my way out of the basement. So yeah. Crazy, some crazy stories. I saw my mom and dad sent me pictures from up there. My sister and my brother, who are on Long Island, sent me pictures of what they were dealing with. Just some crazy stuff. How about your mom and brother?
They were hunkered down. I think he finally shoveled out a little bit and left the house this afternoon. But of course, my mom won't go anywhere. She lives in a more of a an elderly community where not many people, nobody's really touched their cars and all that. They were dealing with not only a ton of snow being dumped, but 60-mile-an-hour gusts.
Yes. Yeah. Crazy.
I mean, it just looked unbearable over there.
Yeah. Absolutely nuts. But, it's one for the record books, and hopefully this is the last snowfall. I say that, but I did look at their weather, and I think they're supposed to get another couple days of a little bit of snow, some sleet or something like that. So,
you got to top it off. You got to get a little ice coating on top of all of that.
That's right.
That was the way of the world where we lived previously to this. The way of the world where the snow would turn to ice.
Yeah.
Ice.
So
I mean, I lived in Hoth. I lived in Hoth before I moved here. Trenches. Tammy walked through trenches to get to the car and stuff like that. I mean, there was one time the snow had gotten so high, my snow thrower almost couldn't go over any higher with the arch of throwing the snow. I mean, it was probably 5 feet high on a 50-foot driveway. So.
Yeah, Catherine's parents came to visit for the weekend for Finley's birthday party. They were supposed to fly home Sunday, so their flights have been canceled. I think there might be flights on Thursday, if I remember correctly. So, of course, Catherine and Finley are totally happy because they get to see family they haven't seen in, a long time. And normally when they come to visit, it's only a couple days, and now they have almost a week. So very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the world is crazy. Stuff going on all over the place. Crazy weather. You can't vacation in Mexico right now. Where we honeymooned and then did a repeat after that. God, I don't know if I'll ever go to Mexico again. It's just so unsettled over there. But hopefully everybody will come out of that okay.
Yeah,
they settle things down there and just all kind of stuff. But I know this is a Disney podcast. I'll touch on this too. Just speaking of a positive thing in the world as well is, I don't know if anybody's watching or listening from Canada, but you can't beat us in hockey, at least, for another 4 years.
For 4 years,
women, bring the women, bring the men, bring the cats, bring the dog teams, whatever. You can't beat us.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. Yeah, it's nice. I didn't see much of the Olympics, but did certainly hear about that.
You want to know what I saw the most of, and I consciously wanted to do it, was curling. I got the family into curling. Curling is so much fun. Curling is my favorite winter Olympic sport. I wanted more. I love the strategy, the thinking, the competition. I did some homework. You can go do a curling class 101 in Orlando. There's a club. $30
in Orlando. There you go. You would not have thought that.
No, and then you can pay for the second class where I guess they get more into the actual getting down and really applying strategies. So kind of fun. We came home from the live stream on Saturday night and we watched the women's curling, and we're really pulling for them. It was like 2:30 in the morning before we got finished with it, but they came up a little short to Canada on that one, but it was fun to watch.
Very cool.
So, we're here for Disney, though, no matter what's happening in anywhere in the world.
Yep.
And Disney always sets things right and good and positive. I did touch on a little bit of news yesterday that was announced. I feel like it was announced late, but I'm sure it was earlier in the day. But we have another new Disney ship, the Adventure.
The Adventure. Yeah.
The largest Disney ship. So
thing is massive. I mean, I thought going on the Dream was massive. This thing is just, it's enormous. I believe it set the record for the largest cruise ship to pass through the Panama Canal. And with good reason. That thing is massive. It was actually a ship that belonged to another company. That company went bankrupt, and so Disney finished the project. So if you ever get the chance to go on it, you'll notice it doesn't look like the rest of the Disney ships for the most part. But there is, they've kind of retrofitted it.
I wonder how it will compare to some of the royal ships that have become the biggest ones out there. Because the first Disney ship I ever saw in person was when we did our royal cruise a couple summers ago, and that ship looked really small compared to the royal ship. I was like, wow, Disney cruise ships are small. So good to see that they're going bigger, because bigger might not always be better, but some people like the smaller ships because it means less people. But to me, it just means more condensed, less people.
Yeah.
Less people, but more condensed, which equals a big ship with more people.
And
Math.
so, funny enough, you bring up cruising, because we are going to talk to Cierra from Cruise and Theme Park Guide. If you don't know her, check her out. She's on YouTube. She's part of the Disney Streamer Network. She live streams from primarily Disney World, but she did do her first trip to Disneyland recently. In fact, she had last month where she went to all 6 Disney parks within a very short amount of time. So we are going to chat with her about her trip to Disneyland, and after she went to Disneyland, she went on a cruise. So we'll talk about that as well.
Doing it Disney. Well, let's go. That was a nice segue.
All right. Well, without further ado, here is Cierra from Cruise and Theme Park Guide. Hello
everyone.
Welcome, Cierra.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for
being here.
joining us. So just in case some of our viewers do not know you, and by the way, we are on horizontal today and vertical. So if you, and on Living Niz and Park Bros. So if you're watching on either of those platforms, welcome. Stay right where you're at. If you're comfortable there, stay there. If you want to go to horizontal, absolutely go to horizontal. So we may have some new viewers in tonight. And of course, we are also then broadcasting this on to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, excuse me, and iTunes. So you may have some people that don't know your channel. For those that don't, tell us a little bit about your channel. What's it about? When did you get started?
So I started this channel in 2023. I kind of always wanted to move to Florida and start a YouTube channel. It's kind of my, want to come down here, theme parks, oceans, cruise ships, all that stuff. And I started making videos in SeaWorld, Orlando. And then I took a cruise like right after I made my first video. So I made a theme park video and I made a cruise video. And I'm like, I don't really know what I want to make my channel about. So I'm going to do both. It's kind of a vacation travel kind of thing.
Yeah.
But with the parks being so close, it's just so convenient to go in there. And then I was a third-party cast member at Disney Springs for about a year when we moved down here. I worked at the Starbucks, the huge Starbucks over at Disney Springs, and it really connected me to the Disney community and everybody. I mean, between cast members and I just noticed everybody came in really happy, and it was just really fun. And then, I was pursuing grad school at the time. I just finished my undergrad, started grad school. And I realized that I didn't have time to edit. So I started doing a little bit more live streaming, because who has time to edit? And that's kind of what brought me here. And I know I always love technology. So, cruising's fun. Love going into the parks. Seen both of you in the parks. It's always a good time. It doesn't really matter which theme park. I worked through high school at Six Flags over Georgia. That's my home park. I love that park. It's one of the better Six Flags parks. But that kind of started the theme park life for me. And of course, Disney trips as a child, Yeah. You want to come back and see more magic as an adult.
And was that job at Six Flags just I just need a job and I know that they're hiring and I'm young, so I'll go work there? Or do you really want to work at a theme park at that point?
I had there, they called them season passes because there wasn't open 12 months a year. I had a season pass growing up all the way from probably 10 years old. And there was this laser tag game inside of Six Flags, and I became really good at playing that game. And I went to Six Flags so much that I was like, yeah, I just want to work here. It was just a part of like working there because I'm already there. I might as well make money in the theme park because I go there so much. So it was like I have to have a job, so I might as well go do something that I enjoy doing and somewhere where I want to be and spend a lot of time.
I like that. I mean, if somebody offered me a job at Disney, I would definitely think about it. Not that I don't enjoy what I do for work now, but I mean, getting to be in the place that you love, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty cool. And so how much now Six Flags obviously is a different park than, the Disney parks. It's more amusement than theme per se. So how much of a theme park enthusiast are you? I mean, none of us will compare to like Theme Park Giant and his 580 roller coasters, but like where do you fit in with your love of theme parks and rides?
I mean, I've been going to theme parks since I was like 2 or 3 years old. My family brought me to theme parks. I visited Disney as a child. And Six Flags Over Georgia actually opened 4 years before Magic Kingdom did. And they had some similarities. They have a big train going around and a few dark rides and some pretty decent themes. I think Six Flags lost their way over time. Of course, we know the story of them. But I'm not somebody who's traveled around the world and ridden tons and tons of roller coasters, but I've worked at multiple theme parks, and I'm pretty versed in what a theme park's supposed to be. I would like to consider myself an expert, not necessarily like an expert to one or the other, but I definitely know behind the scenes operations and I know the things that I like to do and what matters and what stands out.
Yeah.
Is there something that you learned at Six Flags that they do better than Disney?
Well, it's been quite a few years since I worked there.
Tough question, right?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I would, off the cuff, you'd say, no, it's Disney. But, I just wondered if maybe there was something that maybe, hey, I really like the way they handled this over maybe what something Disney might do behind
Back
the scenes
when I
or
worked
something.
there, I didn't work in rides. I worked more in the games aspect. But I've was friends with some people, and I've seen those ride turnarounds be 30 seconds to 3 minutes. And they were trying to eat people as much as they could, trying to get people turned over and turned out. And that was kind of how you kept the crowds happy in the parks, is those quick ride turnarounds, because you don't want those 4 and 5 hour wait times. But
Yeah.
I don't really see that anymore like I used to. Maybe it's not just Disney, but I've seen some huge coasters where you've got a team member on each side checking harnesses. You got one guy at the controls, and they turn those trains over really quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like Guardians, right? Because Guardians, you have two cast members, one on each side, checking, coming down, and I think that does help the ride. And plus, Guardians has dual loading zone, so yeah, I think had Guardians been made 15 years ago, I don't know that we would have had that, and then they have the odds and even loading as well. So they are doing a lot of things efficiently. But I know Corey always mentions how security at Universal is very different, than it is at Disney. So there are some things. I hear that they're testing some stuff at Disneyland, so maybe we've got something new coming soon. So speaking of Disneyland, you went to Disneyland for the first time. And what made you decide to go this year and finally take that plunge? And I ask that because neither Corey nor I have been to Disneyland, and we keep hinting at maybe going soon, but just haven't bit the bullet yet.
So the trip from Disneyland kind of sparked as I've been wanting to go there for a few years. Actually, I've been wanting to go there for a long time, but I've been really serious about it for a couple years. And we had booked a cruise on to the West Coast for January. For those that do not know, the gray whales, they migrate down to the Gulf of California and the Baja Peninsula in Mexico. And that's where they breed in the winter. And it's a beautiful sight. I mean, you could see the whales right off the cruise ship. You don't even have to take like an expedition or an excursion. But that was a trip. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to go to Southern California and not go to Disneyland. I was like, that just
wouldn't have felt right.
So, I mean, Disneyland trip it was.
And how did it feel? Corey and I have talked about this because we talked about if we went this year and we went together, we would live stream, and would we go to the parks first and then live stream? And I'm like, yeah, but if we go and we live stream the first day, we'll capture our emotion of first walking into the park. So for you, how did it feel, going, as much of a historian about Disney as you are, what did it feel like entering through the gates and under the train station and seeing Main Street and the castle for the first time?
It was absolutely phenomenal. And Disney World people told me I would be underwhelmed because of the castle thing. And really, it was the opposite. I was overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because everything was like so much detail. I mean, it's smaller, but it's kind of engineered that way. It's supposed to be smaller, and everything was just in the right place, the right size. I came into Main Street, and the first thing I saw was Pluto right there at the flagpole, meeting people. And yeah, I stopped and I said the words of Walt. I said, to all those who come to this happy place, welcome.
Yeah, that is.
Everybody wants to go and say the words that Walt did in the place he did.
It is right on my magic band.
Well said. Well said. I love that.
And I told Corey that, I could just imagine myself walking in and seeing Walt's apartment, the firehouse, yes, the castle's, smaller, but Walt never walked in Disney World, but he walked in Disneyland. His DNA is all over that park. He hit the if you watch the Disney, did you watch that Disneyland handcrafted special? The documentary?
I had not finished it, but I've watched the very beginning.
It's just something to see how they put that park together. And, these were days that there were no blueprints, right? They were just really kind of winging it. And for example, the bricks on some of those buildings on Main Street are not brick. Like they're really just, cement or some sort of fiber, and they're etching the brick lines into it to make it look like brick. And you just see, like, I would think, because, I'm in new homes construction, I would think just putting the brick would have been easier, but they didn't go that route because they knew that they would, you would have the different coloring and stuff like that with the brick and the mortar. So for me, I think that they went above and beyond with that park. And while Roy did a good job in Disney World, I think that, that's Walt's park. So, and you got to ride some of the rides that you didn't, that we don't get to ride here or that we don't have anymore here. So tell us about the first ride that you went and did in Disneyland.
So glad you talked about this because, it was a choice, a predetermined choice that probably have been sparked for a couple years, but I went straight to Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I was like, I used to ride this as a kid, and it was my favorite ride at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I went straight to Mr. Toad's, and I rode it, and it was, from what I remember of Magic Kingdoms, it was a little bigger, and there was two different like lanes for two different, like they could load two different cars at once. But still the best ride, still an amazing ride.
And it I'm sure it was enough to bring me, even though it wasn't the same exact ride that you had rode as a kid, I'm sure it still had enough nostalgia to bring back that feeling of being a kid.
So much nostalgia. I love that ride.
What other rides did you do over there that you're like, oh, I wish we had that?
Well, I kind of was on a mission. I went and did Mr. Toad's, and then I went over and rode the Mark Twain because the Liberty Bell was my heart and soul. I love that boat. So my number 2 was the Mark Twain, and it was great. The Mark Twain is now my favorite boat now that the Liberty Bell is out of commission. But and then Haunted Mansion wasn't going to open for 2 more days at that point. So I did Pirates. I did Pirates like 3 times because it was so good. I just kept riding Pirates because their ride capacity is kind of really good, kind of like Magic Kingdom. Pirates, you can get on and off of it pretty much any time when it's really busy. Yeah, the Pirates is certainly on the top of my list of the rides in that park.
And, did you find yourself doing a lot of comparison when you're there? Like, I worry that those of us that are in Disney World a lot and focus on Disney World, if we go to Disneyland, like, we're always going to focus on, well, that's better over here, or that's better over there. Did you find yourself doing a lot of that, or were you able to just take in the 2 parks?
I think I did a lot of that, and I think I'm doing a lot of it now, even in the parks here. But I'm actually noticing here, I'm trying to have an open mind because obviously Disney World is bigger and much less detailed, and it was built by someone else in charge. But if you really look, Disney World has a lot of detail too. It's just less noticeable because everything's bigger and more spread out.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I certainly was there. I mean, it's really not good to compare each of the Disney parks, but you will.
It's just human nature, right?
But it's kind of awesome that you get to ride these rides out here, and then you get to go to Disneyland and you get to ride a different version, and you get to feel that same feeling you did when you rode that other ride the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's like riding the ride again for the first time. Yeah, I bet I would feel that way on Pirates and Space Mountain, Tiana's, because even though Tiana's is the same, it's different because they're single file there. And is their space? Their space is double rider, isn't it?
Space Mountain is double rider, and they do have a single rider line.
Okay.
But I do like our Space Mountain better just because I fit in the vehicle much better.
Are they? So they're a little bit different.
Seating was a little tight there.
Yeah. Well, listen, ours is no picnic to get out of. You can't. Nobody gets out of a Space Mountain vehicle gracefully.
Yeah, Space Mountain, Florida is kind of like Matterhorn as far as the vehicle.
Okay.
It's a little hard to get up and out of, and it's a little jerky, but still a Space Mountain or the Matterhorn.
Got it. And so, what about park hopping there? Because there you can, it's kind of like at Universal Studios here, where you just kind of walk out of one and into the other. How did that feel?
I think I wasted my money park hopping, honestly, because I got 3-day park hopper.
Okay.
And I went over one day, because I was just so loving Disneyland.
Yeah.
I was loving Disneyland so much that I didn't go over there that much. But I did go to DCA and I rode Mission Breakout. Of course, I want to know it. I wanted to kind of have my own answer of the Mission Breakout Tower of Terror conversation.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm Team Mission Breakout because if you Tower of Terror here and Mission Breakout have two different ride systems.
Mm-hmm.
The Tower of Terror here has two elevators. There's only one. So it kind of makes sense the way the ride's set up for it to be a Mission Breakout kind of deal. It's a good ride. It was fun. And then I rode Cars Racers.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that ride system was kind of like Test Track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar ride system.
That's why I'm excited for our cars, because it's going to be different. So, even though we're getting a cars ride, it's also supposed to be more off-road. And so you've been on at least two versions of Test Track. Did you ride the original version of Test Track?
I never rode the original Test Track 1.0, and I did ride 2.0, and I ride 3.0 quite a bit.
Yeah. And what do you think of the Cars ride there compared to Test Track?
I'm Team Cars. That ride was amazing. The cars were a little less jerky.
Okay.
And then the cars race at the very end, so it's super cool. Like sometimes you're in the winning car. I was in the winning car.
Yeah, I do like that aspect.
Is it random? So it's random. You don't know who's going to win?
I'm not sure. I just know my car won.
Okay.
But yeah, we were walking around and you could see Tow Mater and Lightning McQueen driving around Cars Land. It was super cool.
Yeah. I there's people that say, why don't we have this over here, and they're so lucky, that kind of thing. But did you feel like it was good that they're somewhat of a different park over there?
Absolutely, because the true fans, the locals here, are gonna spend money to go to that park.
Mm-hmm.
And in the West Coast, the people I met and know, they come here for Epcot.
So you think of the parks that we have here, it's Epcot that draws them, the folks that are on the West Coast.
100%. It's Epcot because they've got just about everything else. They don't have Epcot.
Yeah.
DCA at the very beginning of the park kind of gives off Hollywood Studios vibes because it is kind of California themed.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Hollywood Studios. They don't have Epcot, and I don't think they have anything super close.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have their food festivals there, but that's it.
Yeah.
Epcot is definitely one of a kind. Epcot is
Yeah.
one of a kind in the world, right? I don't even know if there's anything that even comes close that we're just unaware of in some other country.
Maybe.
I feel like it's one of a kind.
Walt Disney said that Epcot was going to be the center of everything happening in Florida. And to me, that kind of makes Spaceship Earth the centerpiece of Walt Disney World, not Cinderella Castle.
Whew, breaking news, hot take. Woo.
Strong opinions here.
I like that. I like that. Well, listen, Epcot is my favorite park, so I can go along with that. And I've watched a lot of the history of Epcot and what it was really supposed to be, even before what Walt announced with where the people were going to live there, but they weren't going to own there. They were really just leasing it. And if he felt it was time to upgrade their appliances, he was going to upgrade their appliances, and they really wouldn't have had any say on it. And apparently there was a point where it was going to be kind of like Carousel of Progress or Horizons, where people would come through and see your house and your apartment and stuff like that. So I don't think that would have really flown over pretty well. with folks, and I think that's why it didn't happen. But I'm still very happy with what we got of Epcot. Where are you with the 4 parks? How do you rank them? How do the 4 parks rank for you?
Well, you're talking about Walt Disney World?
Disney World, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Epcot's certainly number 1, and this may be a controversial number 2, but Animal Kingdom is my number 2. Magic is number 3, and then Hollywood Studios is number 4. And it kind of entwines in my own story, though, because when I did the cast member thing, Walt Disney World, it was the pandemic, and sometimes things got slow, and we got sent home because labor cost.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. We're blocked out of Magic Kingdom. We were blocked out of studios. So I spent a lot of time at Epcot, and I spent a lot of time at Animal Kingdom. I was so blessed to have been able to spend so much time at Animal Kingdom.
Mm.
And that park has just as much detail as the West Coast parks.
Yeah, Joe Rohde's all over that park. I saw a report that he was in Animal Kingdom today. So, supposedly training some of the Imagineers that are doing Tropical Americas. So, I think his fingerprints are going to be on Tropical Americas as well. Because I'm sorry, if Joe Rohde says something, I think you're going to listen.
Yeah. Disney needs to keep him on as a retainer. I don't care what it costs.
Yeah.
They're paying him a pretty penny to show up and give his opinion, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what's your favorite part of Animal Kingdom? Because you're right. I think that is a little controversial number 2. Most people would have it at 4. It's a 4 for me, but it's not a distant 4th. It's just, hey, somebody's got to be 4th, right? So tell us a little bit about your love for Animal Kingdom and why it ends up number 2.
Well, it's definitely not a distance 4. It took me about 4 years to even say that I had a favorite park, because I was like, I like them all evenly, and it depends on what mood I'm in that day or what I want to go see. But I mean, I just spent a lot of time at Animal Kingdom, had moved here from another state, and I just kind of grew love for the place because I spent so much time there.
Mm-hmm.
Festival of the Lion King is the absolute best show at Walt Disney World, and I'm not the only one who says that. I've heard a lot of people say that. I don't know. I just like being there.
And is it
place to go and have like a leisure walk around park day instead of we got to do this ride, we got to do that, we got to do that.
Yeah,
us locals, we do the parks a little differently.
Yeah, and I think Animal Kingdom too, you take these little offbeat paths and you see all the animals. A lot of people, obviously you have, Gorilla Falls there, but, there's so many spots. People don't even know that there's kangaroos in Animal Kingdom. And when you first walk in and you're going to Discovery Island, you can go left, you can go right. Sometimes we'll go right both ways. So we'll go right coming in and then the other to the left side as you're coming out, which is your right, so that you do get to catch both. But, there's so much there. I think you're right. I think if people really slowed down and took their time, they would not think it was a half-day park. A lot of people think it's a half-day park. I don't. I think you can get a full day out of Animal Kingdom. So speaking of Animal Kingdom, what do you think of Tropical Americas and everything that's
I'm
coming
really,
there?
really, really excited. I think Miss Dinoland was misunderstood a little bit. I don't think it was as bad as people thought. If Disney would have probably just reimagined a few things and kept making it happen, it would have. I just don't think they did it justice. So if they're not going to do it justice, it's time to move on. So
yeah. I mean, they'll have a hit in Tropical Americas, but I definitely see what you're saying. I mean, we had gone to the carnival side of Dinoland once. Finley never, even though we went a bunch of times, Finley never played in the Boneyard, because there was always something else to do. So That won't be the case when Tropical Americas opens. I'm sure we will spend a lot of time there.
Did you ever ride Primeval Whirl?
Nope.
I never rode it.
Listen.
I saw it close down when I first moved here, and it closed down and never reopened with the pandemic. And that ride was just interesting looking. I never rode it, but I would think that ride has struck a lot of interest in future technologies, but I don't think it was the best of the rides.
I think it had its ups and downs, no pun intended. One thing was it was like a free coaster in terms of it spun, and you didn't know how many spins you were going to get. And sometimes it was a really bad ride for me with the amount of spins, and sometimes not so bad. But it gives me the chill saying it, but it is a ride, or was a ride that, or still is near and dear to our heart here at Living in Diz. It was our closeout ride. Every time we went to Animal Kingdom on a Saturday night. And you have to probably rewind to back when we were just a vlogging channel and not live, because I don't think we ever got to live stream that ride. But it was kind of like that. It opened up at the end of the night where not a lot of people sometimes had interest in it. So it became a game for Jill and Jacob and I, like, all right, it's whatever. It's 8:15. Let's see how many times in a row we can ride it. So we did it, and sometimes it was, I don't even know, once, twice, 3 times. I don't know if we ever got 4, but it was a fun ride for us to do. It was our closeout ride, so we were sad to see that go. I think it became a danger. Actually, I think it became dangerous. I think there were some unsafe things to do with it, and so they finally shut that down. Going back to Dino Land, though, I think they probably, just like some other projects, right? I think that they may have had other plans for it to make it better than it was, but the Imagineers were only given a certain budget. So I always say you have to applaud the Imagineers for doing what they did. I think they did a great job with what they had to work with. But if you would have opened the pocketbook for them, I think we would have seen a very different Dino Land. And our kids did get to play in the Boneyard, and the Boneyard is considered, the Boneyard was the stuff you could climb and all that, right? And then across the way you could dig dino bones. So they got to do all that.
So you were a third party cast member. So you had, I guess you were mentioning you had the kind of blackout passes where you could go and spend more time at Animal and Hollywood. When did you become
bought and Pixie Pass when I was still a cast member because we were blocked out so much. So it's like, I'll just go to the other parks whenever I can't go to this. So I bought it towards the end of when I left. I had finished my undergrad and got the job with the company I am with now. So it wasn't a huge amount of time. But I had an annual pass and a green ID there at the end because I just got tired of being blocked out so much.
Yeah.
A lot of people I know had done that as well.
Yeah, I think that's pretty common that because the Pixie Pass obviously isn't as much as the pass that Corey has, or certainly the one that I have. And so cast members are like, that I can use that to supplement that. And so your favorite park is Epcot. What about for streaming? Does it change? Do you have a favorite park to stream at differently than your Epcot?
My favorite park to stream in, and it's the layout, it's the rides, it's the vibe. There's a lot to do when the crowds get crazy. You've got the fireworks show. I mean, and not once. There's only of course, Space Mountain and Tron. But not once I've ever told to put my phone away or put my gimbal away on the ride. So it's pretty easy to get all your content or all your streaming done in Magic Kingdom. Nobody tends to bother you about streaming you just do it. And the other parks are I've had on Smuggler's Run one time, and I think Corey had a situation as well.
Let's
They
open
had
up
told me
that
to put
can. Let's
my
open up
gimbal
that
away
can
and
right
just hold the
now.
phone. And I'm thinking that was more dangerous than just holding the phone on the gimbal. But
Yeah, we've talked about that last night on the DSN Zoom call. How there's some rides where it's like they tell you to do that. They had Fat had it on Guardians. They told him to take it off the gimbal, and I'm like, you just want me holding my phone like this now, rather than my gimbal that I have in my hand.
That's the rule for Flight of Passage as well.
Mm-hmm.
They would rather you hold that in your hand, which is super more dangerous. How about that? And the same thing for Tower of Terror. I've been told it's got to come off the gimbal. I'm like, but it's so much safer holding it with a gimbal.
Oh,
no one's ever
doesn't
told
make
me
sense.
Tower of Terror. And I have an Action 4 now. I just switch scenes basically and run the Action 4. I did Space Mountain at Disneyland. I did Space Mountain here as well.
And so yeah, you mentioned Smuggler's Run. Corey's had that too. What other ones? You had me thinking. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's never.
Yeah,
really
I was thinking
happened at
too.
Magic Kingdom.
I don't know if I've ever been told either anything over there.
Yeah.
But to circle back, what were you thinking when you were producing the show 2 weeks ago when we're on Smuggler's Run? This is the second time it's happened to us, and we get told to put that selfie stick away. Okay, we're in the middle of a ride. I'm strapped in. Before we started, you told me that I can't get up and I can't maneuver, I can't do anything, and put my bag on the floor. I am strapped in. I can't get to my bag. It's a full setup. I can't just put it in a bag.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever, she said it twice, and she wasn't as nice the second time. I literally stuck it between my legs. I'm like, fine, I'll just hold it right here. So for a little bit, you guys didn't see anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fine, whatever. And then she still yelled at me to put it away when I had it down out of sight sitting on my lap. Well,
yeah, I can tell you, producing, I had brought up the audio in OBS. Cierra, know what I'm talking about. The audio in OBS, getting ready to mute your feed because I could only imagine.
Yeah.
I know how frustrated I was getting, so I could only imagine how frustrated you were getting. But
yeah, and they can't hear you. Don't you think it should be a two-way? Like they cannot hear you in there. And
I think the last time I streamed Smuggler's Run, I saw someone who kind of looked like a supervisor. He looked like he knew what he was doing. And I went and asked him, and I got his name on his name tag just in case I had any issues. And I didn't have any issues. My plan was like so and so at the front. And
yeah,
said it was fine. I've already cleared it with him.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, right? And as a network, we always want to be, as courteous and kind as we can, even though we know what the rules are. Sometimes it's always the newer cast members that are, it's not like they don't know the rules, but they may just be enforcing to a degree where other cast members who are seasoned are good to go with it, or just recognize gimbals compared to selfie sticks. And this time, the happy ending was when we got off the attraction, right away, they were right there like, we got you. You can go right back on. We're going to give you a lightning lane to go right back on. Like I didn't even have to discuss it with anybody. So apparently something happened within the control room where they were like, hey, that is not a selfie stick. He should be good to go. And I apologize to everyone in there. In the ride, I'm like, I'm so sorry. We've been through this before. I said, we'll just make sure we ask that you guys can go again. Even if we don't get to go again, I want to make sure you guys get to go again. And they were fine with it too. So, yep, it happens to us.
I usually just, whatever the cast member says, I just accept it and just move on and keep going. There's no need to.
No, I would never argue. No. I just ask for a manager. Can I speak to a manager? And most of the time they'll just say, you're good, or they'll go get somebody quick and they'll say, yeah, you're good. So, and we're lucky. We're always lucky Disney allows us to do what we do. Very grateful for that.
Well, since we're talking about odd moments while streaming, we might as well talk about one that the three of us were involved in during the first weekend, the first weekend of Starlight. If any of you don't know, go back and either watch Corey's or Cierra's. You'll get different perspectives there. So we were streaming Starlight, and then we went and walked up Main Street to see Happily Ever After. We were maybe about halfway, right? We weren't in the beginning. We
were like
about
halfway
back.
like one of my favorite spots, and we encountered thousands of clones. But go ahead.
It's so Cierra comes up. Well, I think before she got there, Corey and I were chatting, waiting for Happily Ever After, and all of a sudden it starts getting loud. And I look behind me, and there's a sea of teal blue shirts, from one of the groups, the international groups. Just a bunch of young ladies behind us, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, we were being like,
we were being swallowed up by them.
Yeah, it was like a bad night of Call of Duty, and they just kind of overtook us. And so then we walked up, and then I think that's about when Cierra joined, and we're just. They've got their gimbals. I'm not holding anything. I got my bag. And all of a sudden, again, they just move up again. I mean, we moved 50 feet away from them, and they just moved up again. And then at one point, Sierra's on my right, Corey's on my left, and I'm maybe 2 feet, if that, but away from both of them. And the girls are trying to come in between the two of us. Finally, I just put my arms up and I'm like, no, you got to go around. That was the craziest weekend that I've ever experienced in the parks. I think it kind of ties the three of us together forever.
Guests were unhinged. If I would have told you that the day before, Lawrence, tomorrow night you were going to be surrounded by thousands of Brazilian women, you'd be like, all right now. No, this is the wrong version.
No, not like that at all. It was crazy. And
then some of the girls started to pose, so I'm like, okay, this is a free for all. There's no supervision. I'm usually really careful with youngsters if they want to be on camera, but I let them have a second of screen time right there. And then that's when one of the leaders who didn't speak English wanted to say something to us.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, we'll let them run wild all over you, but
no problem.
Point that camera at them. I'm like, excuse me. And so that was the same weekend. That was Starlight, right? That was Starlight.
That was
Did you hear a little bit? Did you get a flashback on Saturdays when we were at Universal for Mardi Gras pre-parade?
No,
because Tammy was sitting and Jacob was sitting, and then they put our backpacks to the right of Jacob. And there was a trash can. It was to save my spot because I didn't want our audience. I didn't want to go live and have our audience hang for an hour and 45 or whatever. So our plan was let me tour the park. I know that there's stilt walkers walking around. There's some interaction I can do with some of the Mardi Gras players, and we can grab some food, and then I'll circle back, and it'll be, the parade will start in no time. Got back with about 15 minutes to spare, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, a dude with like a stroller, I swear it was a double stroller, is trying to stick it between Tammy and another guest. Excuse me, can I just get up here? And Tammy was like, excuse me. There's not really any room over here. And then he said something to her. Don't say stuff to my wife. And so I just observed, and he said something to her, and I said, you know what? There is a ramp right over there. He goes, where? I was
the ramp is over there.
Flashbacks.
Have you experienced anything like that in the time you've been streaming?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought you guys were still talking. I experience it all the time. I feel like this holiday season, and there's been some times you've got the people who pro Disney tip. Don't think you're going to get like an amazing spot 5 minutes before a parade. It's just not happening. People are already set up and established. So if you, and then I just see a bunch of people stepping up on and trying to push you out of the way, and they think they have a good spot, but that spot's already occupied. And that's streaming or not, like, regardless, it's just like, you got to give her, I mean, you don't have to give everybody 5 feet all around, but
sure,
you know, give everybody a little bit of space and give them a little bit of courtesy to see, you know, we're all in one space. We've got to share it. And it's just those people who step right up on the curb thinking that they got a good spot 5 minutes before. That it just doesn't work like that. Not in Disney World.
No.
Disney World America could never institute the beautiful behavior they have at Tokyo Disneyland. Because if anybody doesn't know, for parades there, you can show up any time of the day and you can put your blanket, your little mat in the spot you want to watch that parade, and you can come back at night and it's still there and everyone respects it and will not take your spot. That would never happen here. Isn't it crazy? It's all about culture.
Yeah.
But how crazy is that you can do that? It's nuts.
I want somebody to go try that in Magic Kingdom. See if your blanket, never mind your spot,
Yeah.
your blanket's going to be gone.
Excuse me, sir. I put my mat there at 9 a.m. today.
That does remind me of...
You can put your blanket down and people will start sitting and standing on your blanket.
Yeah.
I have seen it. I have seen it.
That does remind me of the chair hogging on cruises. It's kind of frowned upon on a cruise. You put your blanket over there on a chair
and walk away for hours.
Walking away for hours.
They're supposed to come around and pick them up if they don't see anybody come over after a little bit. I don't know how much they follow up on that.
So you have not done a Disney cruise, right, Cierra?
I have never been on a Disney cruise. I'm a huge entertainment person. One of the things I love about creating content is covering entertainment. And I know Disney's like number one. I do a lot of Royal Caribbean, but not been on a Disney cruise. And like, I'm not a big casino person either. So Disney Cruise Line's probably down my alley.
So
do you think that you have not quite yet done a Disney cruise, but you've done plenty of others, or especially Royal, because you feel like you get enough fill of characters and Disney experiences on a daily basis? Because if I speak for our channel over here, that's a little bit of we feel, love seeing the characters. We can see the characters anytime, so it's not a selling point for us to go on a Disney cruise for characters, because we kind of live that. So how do you feel about all that?
I probably will do a Disney cruise at some point coming up, but it's mostly price for me. I can do 2-3 cruises for what a Disney cruise costs.
Yeah.
I'm always getting the cheap budget stuff. I don't mind. I don't mind an interior room on Carnival or MSC, where it's only a few $100s a cruise.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah, and with Disney, you're gonna pay like $1,000 to $1,500 for the short cruises.
Yeah,
each.
Yeah. There's a big difference in price, and we just feel like for the fix we get at Disney, we're okay doing more cruises on other cruise lines because we get our Disney fix on a weekly basis. So it's kind of a nice little advantage for us, I feel like, too. Tammy from Living in Diz, she sounds familiar. She may be a new listener, but she says on Saturday, a guy asked whose bags were on the ground. I think he was about to move them, which was my bag.
So on your cruises, Cierra, do you prefer shorter cruises, longer cruises? What's your average night that you go on a cruise?
I kind of feel like at least 5 days. Sometimes 7 days can feel a little long, but I think 5 days, 5 to 7 days is the sweet spot. Those 3 and 4 day cruises, like, just getting started, and
then it's over.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference on where the cruise goes?
Not really. I've learned, well, I'm not a huge fan of someone who has to fly to go to your cruise. But when I went to Disneyland, it's a different story because I flew to Disneyland and I was there for 4 days before I even made it to the cruise ship.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I flew in; it was more like flying out.
Yeah.
Someone coming from Orlando like us to go to Disneyland, do you have any money-saving tips to do that?
So they have good neighbor hotels and packages. So where you can stay at like the Sonesta or somewhere like that. It's pretty. The room is, it's not luxury, but it's clean and it's you're not there that much anyway.
Exactly.
That's what I would do is do a lower price like good neighbor hotel. I mean, you're gonna get like basically all-star kind of benefits
All-star
there.
level.
Yeah. I mean, the hotel was super clean. The customer service was really nice. The price was good, but I did open to close 3 days in a row at Disneyland. That was just my place to sleep.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're just laying your head there. And especially over there, you probably need to go on to a good neighbor hotel and save some money if you're not going to be there a lot. So I like
especially because Pixar, Disneyland Hotel, and Grand Californian, that's a chunk. That's a little bit more than the Disney cruise there.
Yeah. Is there a certain airline that you would recommend to people flying out of Florida?
So if you fly into, I think it's John Wayne through Southwest Airlines, they will bring your bags to to Disney for you. I don't know all the details. I flew to LAX because I have a friend who works close by. I flew to LAX and he just grabbed me and we went and hung out at downtown Disney that evening. It was my first time seeing the Disneyland Hotel. It was like, that's the original resort. That's the original hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. And are those 3 hotels, as we know them here, value, moderate, deluxe, the 3 hotels over there, are they all deluxe feeling or yeah.
I mean, if you look at the prices, you can definitely tell they're deluxe prices, but they're right there at downtown Disney. It's like you're already at Disney. Like you don't need a shuttle or a bus to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a tram that takes you from Pixar Place, but
other than that, it's right there.
What was your travel like to and from the park? Did you walk or what'd you do?
So there's this thing called Anaheim Regional Transportation, and they're getting rid of it. I think it's going away in April or something like that. But it's like...
Is Bob Chapek involved over there?
I paid like $10 or $15, and I got to ride that bus for the whole week.
Oh.
And it's about a $10 Uber. Or you can stay close. I mean, there's good neighbor hotels right across the street. They're going to be a little bit more pricey, but obviously the convenience is worth it.
It's worth it. Huh. Interesting. So our viewers have some questions, so I'm going to throw those up for you. You answered Rod's question already. He asked what was your favorite park. That was Epcot, but your favorite park to stream is Magic.
Absolutely.
All right. All Aboard with Blake asks, what's going to be your first ride? And I think he was really asking us when we talked about Disneyland, because she said her first ride was Mr. Toad's. I don't know.
Wow,
Man,
that's a question
tough.
I've never been asked.
Yeah.
Well, let's assume that everything's availability is on a 5-minute wait. So that's out of that's on the table. Let me tell you this while we think about answering this question. I was watching a vlog from Disneyland yesterday, and I looked at Tammy and I go, I didn't even realize that they had Buzz Lightyear. And I watched enough Disneyland. I didn't know that they had Buzz Lightyear.
Mm-hmm. They
But
do.
now
It's
ours
a little
should be
It's
better.
a little
than theirs.
different, right, Cierra?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more like what we're getting. And I went on it multiple times, and
okay.
ours I can just get Galactic Hero super easy. There, I got 500,000. That was my highest score.
I got
Each target-
500,000 in 2 years. If you count it all up.
But yeah, their
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear, it's kind of cool. I mean, I think I like ours a little better, but it's not called Space Ranger Spin. I forget what it's called, but
Yeah, I
it's
know
right
it had
there
a
across
little
from
different
Star
name.
Tours at the entrance of Tomorrowland.
Oh, let me ask you about that. How does it feel having Star Tours in Tomorrowland? Did that? Because to me, looking at it on
That's
live
nuts.
streams, it feels weird to me to have Star
It
Tours
felt
in
very
Tomorrowland.
weird.
Does it? Okay.
But it fits. Like it fits right into Tomorrowland. It looks good there.
Okay. All right.
It does. It
It
does.
fits. I think it fits a lot better than Hollywood Studios where it's at there.
Yeah,
Mhm,
I will agree 100% with that. It's
definitely
I
out of
don't think
place,
they're
right?
moving it. Yeah, but now it feels
It's
out of
always
place.
been out of place. It's always been out of place. Well, we say that now, right? It wasn't out of place until Galaxy's Edge showed up.
Yeah, yeah.
Really.
And what
right?
about where
It was
their
the only
Galaxy's
Star Wars
Edge is? Did that feel odd to have it?
Now that feels odd because you're riding the Mark Twain or you're riding the train, and you
Yeah.
can see the blue mountains behind the red mountains, kind of, and that just doesn't feel right to me. It looked out of place. It's outside the berm.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over there for a minute, but I was like, we have this Hollywood Studios, and Rise of the Resistance was down, and I was like, this is not quite what I'm here for.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I want to welcome Palm Bay Jags fan 1265 to the LID VIP Club at the
Very
minivan level.
nice.
Thank you so much for becoming part of the family. We appreciate
you.
that.
Now, if Rise was running, would you have gone on it?
No, because everything I know, it's a cut and image of what we have.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot more fan culture of Star Wars in Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. But I wasn't really there for that. I was like, I'm there for the Haunted Mansions and the Space Mountains and
Sure.
the Matterhorns, like the classics, or something we don't have.
Right.
I would do, if I would answer that question too, like I would only do rides like Rise if I had time. You know what I mean? Because we have it and it's pretty much the same. So we would have to feel like, all right, we've been here for 2 days. We've kind of done everything once or twice. It's a walk on, whatever. Let's go do it just to say we did it kind of thing. So back to that question. I really like Sierra's answer of going to Mr. Toad because I never had the chance to ride Mr. Toad.
Yeah.
I do like that one.
But speaking of that, and Walt said it himself, Fantasyland was his favorite part of Disneyland. Like the Fantasyland out in Disneyland is incredible. There's all these little small dark rides, and they're pretty similar to each other. But and then Casey Jr., the little trains over there, and like the Alice in Wonderland is on top of Mr. Toad's, kind of in the back on the top. And then there's a Snow White ride, and then there's a Pinocchio ride that are very similar, and it's just like all these cool little awesome rides.
That would be
idea.
better than what we have. Like I wouldn't mind an overhaul of some of our Fantasyland. We can just wipe out that whole area when Villains is done. We could wipe out the Speedway and continue on to you just have to put Dumbo somewhere else. You can't get rid of Dumbo, but we can get rid of Goofy's and we can get rid of the spray area and the Big Top. Like it's time to do something different over there.
But as a kid, Dumbo was right there by the carousel where all the
Yes,
strollers
it was.
sit in Magic Kingdom. I remember
Yes,
that.
it was. Yep.
And Toontown
I just
was
remember
over
that in
where Circus was. stored.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Speaking
Palm
of
Bay
which,
says,
Judge
when is the
Rabbit.
best? Oh, go ahead.
Roger Rabbit at Toontown at
Oh,
Disneyland's the best. The little Benny cab rides, and it's hard to turn the car, and it's great.
Yeah, that would be a must do for me over there.
I wonder if that would maybe. See, I'd like to do that one because I feel like it's really different. You know, it's a different character than we have. You know, we had Roger Rabbit for a little bit in Hollywood Studios in the very beginning, but we didn't have a ride. Maybe that would be my first ride. Something totally different.
Palm Bay had a question. When is the best time to Disney cruise as far as pricing?
When they throw out some discounts. Like for me, I would tell you that, you know, look at when they're throwing out discounts. And I think it's pretty much early in the years when you see that. And I could be wrong. Cierra can answer if,
Well,
Isn't it usually the same with all cruise lines too, where as soon as it comes out is normally the cheapest price?
I always find 90 days before the sailing or when it first comes out is the cheapest price. And then September and like early December before school lets out is good. And then, but you go in the summer, you're going to pay summer prices. And from like March all the way to early August, you're going to pay those prices. But you can find some pretty off-season deals usually.
yeah.
Yeah. I think if you're not a slave to the school schedule, anytime school is in is probably the cheapest times to go.
Tony Otara wants to know, did you get stomach butterflies when riding cars?
I did not get stomach butterflies, but I was just so amazed. Like when you get it out before you go racing, you get to see Doc Hudson and Tom Mater and Lightning McQueen, and it's just super cool.
Yeah.
Park World Radio has added that ride in their rotation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, what am I listening to the other day? I was like, okay. I get it now.
Very cool. And Anne wants to know, what's your favorite ride or show in each of the Disney World parks?
So Magic Kingdom, favorite ride, Haunted Mansion. That's always been my favorite ride. It's been why I love Haunted Mansion. And, you know, I'm getting a little old, so Carousel of Progress would be my show. Epcot, my favorite ride. So I have this, I don't know, I just love Spaceship Earth. I know there's better rides, but, you know, nothing feels better and like you're at Epcot than just taking a nice little ride on Spaceship Earth when you come right into the park. You know you're going to have a good day. You've already thanked the Phoenicians, and it's just time to get started.
Mm-hmm.
And Hollywood Studios used to love the Muppets the most, but now it's probably Tower of Terror. I think Tower of Terror is the absolute 100% best themed ride that Disney's ever made. While it's not the most enjoyable ride Disney's ever made, it's definitely the most well themed.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that.
Animal Kingdom. Probably Expedition Everest, because it's a nice little small coaster that has a ton of G-force.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Double grip on the gimbal. After you hit that exit, that drop coming out of the mountain, right? That couple spins, those couple of circles you make, you feel those G's, don't you?
Yeah, even the ones when you're going backwards, you're feeling them.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to be like a dog with the tongue hanging out and then like that saliva hitting the people that sit right behind you.
So what's next for your channels?
You know, coming back, I'm just trying to get caught up on the back end of things. Work is a little crazy, and right now I'm just trying to get prepared for a good spring and summer because the good weather's amongst us. I think today is probably going to be our last super cool day of the year. And we're going to start complaining about our phones overheating in a few months. And so it's just time to go make it happen.
Yeah.
Not really doing any traveling. It's going to be a lot of theme park content. Flower and Garden is coming up next week. And I'm pretty sure, actually, I'm not going to give it away. I'll let you guys say what, because sometimes you guys talk about that kind of stuff.
That's next week's show.
Yes, it
but
is.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Is you guys are always rolling out the menus.
We love that. It's my favorite week. It's my favorite week of the channel. Whenever we get to preview, I don't know. Well, I guess there's. I feel like we're the only channel that does it the way we do it, where we have a podcast, we preview it, and then we live stream it within days. And we talk about day one foods and things like that. So it's a nice carryover. I love it for the people that watch the podcast and then they get to come over on Saturdays and kind of see it all unfold. Do you get excited about that too, Cierra, where I just love hitting a brand new festival, day one for us, and it's all new. It's all new merch. It's all new shows. It's all new food. It's so much fun.
I love it. And, being down here for so long, and you probably the same way, you get to see all your friends because everybody comes out.
Yeah.
And
yep. Anybody who's anybody is there. For sure.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And that's what I'm going to do. I took a day off work. I'm not going to I'm going to make your like traditional video. I'm going to go out and I'm going to make like a documentary about what happens on the first day of Epcot festivals. And I'm not going to worry about which food tastes more spicy or which one's hot or which one's worth the money. I'm just going to go out and document like how much fun it is and all the things that you can be excited about for a festival at Epcot on the first day.
I like that alternative way of thinking.
Yeah, because there's a definite energy, right? When you have a new festival, whether it's arts or Flower and Garden or Food and Wine, there's an energy there for the first day. So yeah, I like the idea of capturing that. Good for you. That'll be exciting to see. I think that's a side people don't. A lot of us focus on the food or the merch or the art or the entertainment, but that's a totally different angle. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Very cool. And for those of you that don't know, Cierra has one of the most technical setups around of any Disney live streamer. Of course, she streams somewhat the way that we do on Park Bros and Living in Diz. And I think there's only two others that I know of that are doing it that way, Theme Park Giant and All Aboard with Blake, that are in the network. Do you I know that you push yourself, right? And you push your tech. Do you ever think I should just slow down, or are you always like, what's next? How do I reinvent myself? How do I keep pushing the envelope?
Pushing the envelope is part of my ecosystem. That's something I'm always going to do. I work in IT, and that's what we do. I'm always testing something new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always trying new things, and technology evolves so quick. But something just dawned on me this week that I think I'm pushing it too hard. I think you need to simplify it a little bit, and that was kind of why I created a second channel, was so I can do all that weird tech stuff all over there and talk 100% about tech. So I don't, we're all here for Disney. We're not necessarily here to understand what an IP address or what kind of routing we're doing, or all these camera video specs. We're all brought together over Disney, and try to keep it more on track with Disney.
I like that. Well, I'm gonna add. I don't know if you answered this, but we have Flower and Garden starting. What's your favorite festival?
And Festival of the Arts. I missed a lot of it this year because of Disneyland. I'm not angry. I spent a lot of time with Disney on Broadway. That's one of my favorite aspects of Festival of the Arts, because you basically get to go and it's never busy except for
No.
Saturday night. It was slammed. Happened to know a cast member who helped us get some upfront seats.
Oh, nice.
Or I forget her name, but she was the original Belle.
Was that Susan Egan that night?
Susan Egan.
Yeah.
And the guy who played, and also the guy who played the first genie. That was the absolute best performance I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He got up there with so much confidence, and he had the perfect moves. And you're like, these guys, they don't do this anymore for years. But they still have every move like they did in the production.
Mm.
Yeah, it's ingrained in them. And Festival of the Arts became my favorite this year. Like it's hands down. It's just so much fun to eat food and just you probably don't even cover every. I feel like you can't cover every art booth in 1 or 2 visits without really taking your time and appreciating the art there.
I did get a chance to get to know some of the artists. I put them on the stream and kind of gave them some free promotion out there from an audience. And was like,
nice.
Tell us how they can find you. Let these people follow you on Instagram or social media. And they were all super happy and excited about it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will show up, a little unprofessional style, but some of you wanted to know how our art wall turned out. I don't know how good that looks, Lawrence, but yeah, it probably doesn't look great. But maybe I can give you a slide to show when we're live tomorrow night or something. But that's our art wall. That almost everything there we bought at this festival.
Wow.
And I threw in the R2D2 metal frame, which is new over at Droid Depot, which is amazing. But yeah, a lot of that is from this year. So
very nice.
And I want to thank my friend Art by Nemad for making me my art over here.
Yeah,
nice.
He's really good. He is really good. Yeah, check him out on Instagram. Yeah, and he's very supportive of the Disney live streaming community for sure. So that's always good to see.
He sent me this Timon, and Timon's one of my favorite characters. What's the matter with you?
I love it. Well, I want to thank Cierra for coming on tonight, talking about her Disneyland trip, cruising, streaming. It was great to have you on. She is a great member of the Disney Streamer Network, a great friend, and she is always there, to help newer creators, people that are starting to get into it, want to stream the way we do. She's very helpful. So I thank you for everything that you do for the live stream community for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving us your time. We appreciate it, and keep on doing what you're doing. And you're part of the Disney Streamer Network, and we're all one, and we're all here for each other. So, yeah, it was a pleasure having you on. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Thanks. And I met you in the parks many times, Corey, and then I met Lawrence a little bit, and he started this, or you guys started this network. I learned about the network through him. So, but it's been a real success. There's a lot of good channels out there. It's just, I could never imagine that it would became what it is today. I mean, it's not even that old yet, but
yeah,
it's really happening.
Yeah. And it's because everyone in the network is different. The way we stream, our personalities, where we're at, in life, what we do, how many days we go to the parks, and so everybody kind of brings their own flair to it. And I think that's what makes a community, any community, great. So I appreciate that, and I'm a mod on Cruise and Theme Park Guide, and it's the same way. That community, you see it whether it's Living in Diz or Cruise and Theme Park Guide or any of the other channels. That community, they just gel well together, and so then when you start putting multiple channels together, you see what happens. It grows even more. So thank you again for everything that you do for the network and for your your community as well.
Well, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the park soon.
Yes, yes. Cierra, everybody, thank you very much. We will see you in the parks for sure.
That's a good phrase. Maybe I should end my live streams like that. Thank you so much. We'll see. Well, I'm sure I'll see you soon in the parks.
Right. Well, you kind of do. You do. We'll see you in the parks.
Yeah. It's not kind of. It's every time. Yes, for 7 years.
Yeah. A little bit.
No, it's
a little
good.
bit.
It's good. It's our tagline, That could be a good Disney Streamers Network t-shirt. Everyone has a closing line, don't they? I mean, you could just kind of put those on there with the channel name, channel logos, that kind of thing. That's a good idea for some Disney Streamer merch.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna work on some merch.
I have another idea too. to add.
Okay.
I have a good challenge that we could add to the network.
All right. I like it.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned earlier, next week's show is going to be the flower and garden preview. I better start working on that now because there's a lot to cover. So we'll get working on that soon. So that'll be next week, and then the week after that is going to be a fun show. We are going to do.
Are we going on location?
Oh no, not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
That was fun that time, though.
That was a good time. So the week after that's going to be Is It Worth It? We're going to play Is It Worth It? We're going to have a bunch of different rides and a bunch of different wait times. And we're going to spin the wheel and,
I like that.
Do some random.
I like that.
Yeah, we're going to do some random ones and see, is this ride or show worth whatever the wait time is that it comes up. So we'll have a little fun with that.
I love that. I don't know if anybody's done that one.
Yeah, I don't think so, but we're gonna try it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Tomorrow night we are live at Magic Kingdom. Saturday is also live at Magic Kingdom. I don't do that often, but I had some reason, and I'm just gonna stick with it. Magic Kingdom is what we're doing. I put a lot of thought to scheduling, and that's what I came up with last week. I can't remember why. The only possible reason I can think of at the moment is if Disney pulled a fast one on us again, where they're going to close at 9. Let me look. I'm looking right now. Yeah. Oh no. Nope. They moved it.
They did? Okay, good.
They did move it again. Wait a minute. No. I lied. Nope. It's 9. So we've got a short night at Magic Kingdom. So I will. So I feel like we can get more out of Magic Kingdom on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually close at 11. So let's go on that. In the following week, I'll decide what I have to do. I can only do so many 9 o'clock Magic Kingdoms.
I know. I know. I wish they would change that, but and why did you get?
Yes.
I guess because of crowds. I was going to say, why did you get lucky last week and it was 11? But that was probably to do with the crowds.
Who told me? Did I figure that out? I figured it out myself.
I think so. Yeah.
I texted you. I don't know if you knew or it was news to you when I said it. I might even have just been on the monorail and I was just looking and I was like, oh shoot, it's 11. So
yeah, I think you told me.
Yeah, because because leading up to that, I was like, oh, I don't know. I'll just walk back to the TTC or something like that. And wouldn't you know, when we left on Wednesdays after like 11:30 at night, the monorail was a walk-on.
Wow, that's a rare.
So Disney,
because it was 11, probably.
Yeah, Disney would rather corral thousands of people squeezing out of Magic Kingdom and squeezing every morsel of skin of people in both directions of both monorails, the buses, and the boat, the ferries. Like, corral them. It's nuts how busy it is out there. Rather than, even if you close at 10, it's going to cut that crowd in probably half.
Yeah.
And people can leave sooner. To me, it's just been much easier to just take a nice, relaxing walk back to the TTC.
I've enjoyed that. I think most of the viewers have enjoyed that as well.
yeah, so we'll do it again tomorrow. We'll peruse our way around the resorts a little bit as we work our way back to the TTC. So we'll do that, and I'll be out there on Saturdays again with Tammy and Jacob, and we'll take what the park gives us, and we'll probably sign off somewhere close to midnight. We'll do all the shopping and blah blah blah, and have a good time with that. So that's what's upcoming on the channel.
I like it. So tomorrow night, I'll mention that Lily's Life, our friend Lily's Life, is doing her deep dive, or Let's Go Ride series, continuing that with Pirates of the Caribbean tomorrow night. So you can watch on Disney Streams on dsn.disneystreams.com. You could be watching us and watch Lily's Life. Then they're going to put out a POV of Pirates, and then at the end they're going to redirect everybody over to Living in Diz anyway. So make sure to watch both of us at the same time on dsn.disneystreams.com, and then you'll be able to support Lily and her efforts with her new show, and then come on back and watch us.
Yeah, listen to Lily. Let me know. Yeah, listen to Lily. You can watch me at the same time. Listen to Lily, because she probably has more important things to say than I do. So do that, and then just come back to me.
Yeah.
Do that.
So
all right.
Thank you all for joining us. I think that was great. Great episode with Cruise and Theme Park Guide. If you're not watching her, she normally goes live on Saturdays. Make sure to check out her channel, subscribe if you like, and normally she's Saturday morning, so you might be able to watch her and then come over and watch us. Or again, watch on the multi-view and watch multiple Disney Streamer Network channels at one time.
Sounds fantastic.
I like that he just created a new word. I haven't heard that
yes.
one before.
It goes way back to when I first started doing it, and Jacob was like, Dad, everything, you had DIZ, on the back of everything. And then you fast forward a year or two later, I'm talking to Pete one night on the phone, and he's like, you got something here, man. He's like, you created, what's the word I'm looking for? You created a brand,
right?
Yep. And I knew it really stuck when just one day I went live at Magic Kingdom. I'm going up Main Street, I believe, and people start coming in. Happy Wednesdays, happy Wednesdays. I'm like, oh, it's caught on.
That's right.
So
good
stuff.
I'm going to redirect all of you to Ear to Ear Magic, another Disney Streamer Network. He is out at Magic Kingdom tonight. Normally he doesn't do weeknights, so redirect you over to him. Go and check him out and see what he has going on there. So we will see you tomorrow night from Magic Kingdom. Make sure to have your notifications on. Go to the channel, go to Living in Diz, click on the live stream and click notify me so that you're guaranteed to get that notification. Because just having that bell hit does not mean you're getting the notification. I did a study on that, and only 1% of my audience gets the notifications. So make sure to hit notify me so that as soon as I click go live, you guys are right there with us. So you're not missing a bit of the action. Theme Park Giant, hello, another friend of the the channel, and a Disney Streamer Network, a guy out there. He was at Magic today.
Nice. All right, everyone. As always, we thank you all for watching. We do this live because we do it for you, and we also thank all of you who watch Ninja and don't participate in chat live. Definitely leave some comments even after this is done, because it does help. It does help. So before you log off or whatever, throw a little comment in there, and that really helps. Like I said, we really appreciate that. And and we love all our people who listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and what's the one I'm missing now? Apple. I always miss one. There we go. All right, everyone. Until then, we are just a couple of bros talking Disney.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.